me. I'm your goddess Nesca. Here with Trucker Matt. We're reacting to...
Why Florida Sucks by Big Tugg.
That Jesus was a boxer. That would be pretty cool.
Wasn't that a South Park episode?
Oh no, you're right. I was a South Park episode. They had Jesus being a boxer.
Florida seems a little bit unreal. Florida is what happens when lawful evil and chaotic neutral are combined into one gigantic, should-be illegal firework. It's on both ends of the spectrum. Like, on one hand, people in Florida think Michelangelo's David statue is too graphic for kids to see. And then on the other hand, reportedly in Florida, there's like...
Because of, the dick.
It's art, though. It's not supposed to be...
It's still, in a sense, kind of lewd because it has his dick hanging out.
Still.
Like gas stations that need to put up signs so people don't
Only for food use. Do not warm. Why?
Drug testing. You gotta have they test the temperature of your pee, and people would sneak pee in. It'd be cold. They'll figure it out.
Okay. Okay.
Microwave their own in the microwave that's free at 7-Eleven. Florida is more than just a U.S. state. It is a state of mind, a somehow lower but higher state of mind.
Baby,
and how does a U.S. state gain such a reputation for being an almost perpetual circus of bullshit? Well, let's start at the beginning with a little fella called Ponce de Leon. Let's go back. Flashback, Chris. Let's do it. Flashback.
What are we flashing back to?
I don't know. I'm scared.
We're in the Skyrim cart.
Why are we in the Skyrim cart?
We're going somewhere.
We're going to Florida.
Oh, yeah, right. We're going to Florida in the Skyrim cart.
Hey, you.
It's a statistically backed stereotype that thousands of retirees move to Florida every year. At least 77,000 old people moved to the Sunshine State in 2022 alone.
And then they all like to walk around on the beach and have their bodies barely covered and very, very leathery from the sun.
Why is it nudist beach have people that you don't want to see naked?
I know, right? There's never sexy people at nudist beaches. I'd say this is more of a oblivion game.
So it's fitting that Florida's beginnings are linked to the myth of the Fountain of Youth. Legend has it that Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon set sail searching for its healing waters in 1513. And in his quest, he accidentally landed in a place that we call Florida in modern day. In its essence, this story sounds fun. Everyone loves an old dude looking for some magic back in the day. But the truth is, Ponce de Leon probably wasn't looking for the Fountain of Youth at all. Your history teacher lied to your face, and he did it on purpose. And to put a little more gas on the fire, Ponce de Leon wasn't even the first European to discover Florida. Historians believe that honor goes to Italian explorer John Cabot, who claimed Florida for England in 1497. But history is written by the winners, and since Florida was owned by Spain for 2 centuries, the Iberians got to hold the pen. Damn Iberians. And speaking of holding the pen, this is where the myth of the Fountain of Youth came into play. 8 years after first setting foot in Florida, Ponce de Leon was mortally wounded while attempting to establish a colony.
Florida is known to be very crazy because they have laws that all the crazy crime stuff has to be available.
Also, something that someone told me years ago that moved to Florida and moved back. He said, if you ever notice you go to Central Florida where all the crazy shit happens, the water tastes funny. There's a high level of sulfur in the water. It's quote unquote safe. But he's not convinced that people that live there their whole lives drinking water with sulfur and it ain't messed them up.
Oh, the sulfur bacon, the brainies.
Yeah. That's his going theory, is because the reason why Florida is crazy is because of the sulfur in the water.
Oh. He dead.
Oh, did I mute it?
Maybe. Yes.
Historians, artists, and biographers would throw him under the bus, portraying him as an idiot and a weakling who couldn't get a boner. Now that sounds like a Big Tugg ad-lib, the like couldn't get a boner thing, but like that's what people were actually saying about him. They were calling him impotent, and I just find that fucking insane. In 1535, historian Gonzalo Fernandez de Ovidio wrote that Ponce de Leon was seeking the Fountain of Youth, not to stay alive forever, but to cure his sexual impotence. Truly, there is no drama. Like 14th century history.
fountain of youth for your cock.
What's the point of living if your dick doesn't work?
Oh no.
Story and drama. Them bitches were catty. But the myth still persists to this day, and it also it started a park in St. Augustine, Florida, where they claim the Fountain of Youth was, or whatever the they're just pushing the lie continuously, but whatever. It's Florida. Let them believe in magic. Moving down the line historically, in 1821, America bought Florida from Spain for $5 million as part of the Jackson-Onis Treaty, which adjusted for inflation is 97 gazillion smackers. Spain just thought Florida was more trouble than it was worth, particularly when it came to handling the uprisings of the Seminole tribe. Now,
Well, yeah, because... Oh, wait. I'm trying to think of how the geological landscape was different. Like, how much of the United States did Spain have?
Florida, honestly, Texas till they broke off from Mexico. Well, no, yeah, Mexico and the whole southwest part.
That was the whole point of the Alamo, right?
Yeah. Well, they were fine. Then Mexico became independent. I loosely based it on my history because Mexico became independent. Then Texas fought its independence from Mexico. That's what it was.
Okay.
real quick, to summarize everything that happened between the Seminole tribe and the U.S. nation it's in bad taste to even try and put it into a paragraph. I feel like it deserves its entire own video to give it its due justice. Just know that Americans and the Seminoles fought from 1816 to 1858. The Americans fought super dirty, they faked surrender, and eventually America took all of the land. This led to only two...
Oh yeah, they did fight dirty. That is the one piece of history I'll always remember, because whatever they do to you in Texas, you are like implanted to be loyal to Texas. And I remember the Alamo, the way they defeated Santa Anna was they caught him off guard and they stole his fake leg. I remembers that. That's like the only part of history I fucking remember.
200 to 300 Seminole tribe members living in the state, and they just ended up hiding in swamps where America couldn't really get to them. But despite everything I just said, America has Florida now. Yay, yippee, woohoo, we have Florida, yay. Another star on the flag. So what happens next? In the 1920s, Florida saw its first real estate boom. Throughout most of the 19th century, the state was uninhabitable. It was mostly wet grass and swamplands, and it's very hard to live in that because the mosquitoes will eat you alive. But by the early 20th century, politicians started draining the state's wetlands. They were literally draining the swamp, something that someone won't do, something that no one will do for some reason. But in Florida, this created new dry land that was available for dirt cheap. Real estate developers and investors swooped in, enticing customers with Florida's weather and relaxed attitudes toward
50-foot lots here for $175.
$745.
Yeah. So
Damn, that's a good
towards
deal.
prohibition and gambling. That's right, almost since its inception, Florida has always been about just doing whatever the you want and having less rules about it. Go get drunk in public and start gambling and get naked. It. Show your dick. It's Florida. No one cares. Houses and apartments were being flipped overnight, with banks providing easy access to credit. Entire towns and housing
dirty because a civil war dwang.
Developments were popping up out of nowhere. And if any of this sounds a little familiar to you, it's because you were born between 1997 and 2002 and you have a little something.
Wait. Oh my god. Okay, so luckily, we were not born between 1997 or 2022. We were pushed back. We're 90 and 89.
Trauma. With 1,350 miles of coastline, no one in Florida lives more than an hour away from the coast. What could possibly go wrong? Did you say live on the coast near the Gulf of Mexico? And your peninsula sticking out?
No, he said it wrong.
this video probably came out before that.
I don't think. How old is this video? It's the Gulf of America now.
He's got to say it right.
Down to the ocean? Oh yeah, nothing bad. God's not gonna get mad at you.
Yeah,
Whoopsie daisy, the Great Miami Hurricane of 1926 hit. Approximately 2,000 homes were destroyed.
Went wrong. Fake news.
Oh, he's talking about. Oh, I heard about this storm in
Okay,
history.
okay, tell me.
The coast
He'll tell
near the
ya.
Gulf of Mexico, and your peninsula sticking out into the ocean. Oh yeah, nothing bad. God's not gonna get mad at you. Whoopsie daisy, the Great Miami Hurricane of 1926 hit. Approximately 2,000 homes were destroyed and 3,000 were damaged. It's estimated that at least 25,000 people were made homeless as a result, and also like 100 people died. But I'm not whatever.
How did people not have brain powers back then?
Back then, Florida was not populated, so people didn't really know much about the weather down there. And it's not. We live in a modern age where we can look up information. Back then, they couldn't. But they
don't
was-
you feel like a little bit of common sense that you wouldn't want to live next to the ocean?
Oh, people want to live next to the ocean. They want to go swim in the ocean. I know you say fuck the ocean, but
Until the ocean decides to give you a nice little... Did they not know what tidal waves were back then?
no.
Oh, wow.
They didn't know what hurricanes were. These people are probably moving up from the northeast and all.
Oh, so it was just a lovely surprise.
Love a surprise. You got alligators in your house.
Oh, yeah, they didn't know what alligators were, too, huh? Oh.
I'm not, whatever.
People are gonna die.
This was all
Right in the middle of Tornado Alley. Dude.
I'm used to it.
Dude, this one's from Kansas.
We live next to Kansas. We take a piss and hit Kansas.
Well, Kansas. Where the cousin? Where the babies? Where the baby? Or wait, which one's older, Kansas or Missouri?
Missouri's older.
Okay, well, we're the older sibling of Kansas. There we go.
in stark contrast to the 1921 newspaper ad for Miami Beach investment in tourism that promised practically
People haven't always been smart. Wait, people still aren't smart.
Yeah.
Well, where else are we supposed to live? And to be fair, you know what? In all my life, I've lived in the Tornado Alley area. I've lived between Houston, Kansas, and Missouri. Those are the three states I've always lived in. Never once in my whole entire life have I seen a tornado.
I might be seeing them now when I drive in the daytime. Oh,
This
yeah.
was all in stark contrast to the 1921 newspaper ad for Miami Beach investment in tourism that promised practically no danger from summer storms. Crazy thing to boast about, despite the fact that, like, you can't control the weather, pimp. Speculators left the states, banks failed, and Florida got a great head start on the Great Depression. But then, in 1969, we put a bunch of space down there. We put, like, NASA stuff, and they launched rockets. So that was cool. That brought on a couple people.
Yay. And then we put Disney stuff down there, too.
You want to know the reason why they put stuff down in Florida like that? A couple of reasons. One, because it's closer to the equator. The rotation of Earth actually will force the rocket out.
Oh, dude.
And when things start going...
Sorry, why did I unpause it? Dude. That was mentioned in JoJo Part 6. They talked about that in JoJo Part 6.
I'm in Georgia.
Yay. Oh, me neither, but I'm still scared. Well, lucky me, I have a basement. I live in a house with a basement, so I have some kind of preparedness whenever it does happen.
And also, if something happened to the rocket and it blew up, it would at least land in the ocean.
Oh,
That's another reason why.
Okay, you were talking about something else. I was talking about something else. We're all talking about something else. Let's get back on the same
Good
topic.
for the state, what do you do? Well, you build a Ferris wheel and worship a mouse. That's the next great step. In
Yay.
2023, major theme parks in Florida saw nearly 80 million visitors, and that was a down year. Whatever Florida was once known for, because of Orlando, it is now the theme park
By crazy people, yeah. Boat, bow to the mouse.
Dude, everywhere is surrounded. There's a good equal, maybe not so equal for some places, but there's a good amount of crazy and non-crazy people in the world.
Oh, yeah. Did I miss Monster Hunter Time? Yeah, it was at the
Yeah,
beginning.
you must Monster Hunter time. Sorry. We can give you a code. Where'd my phone go?
Oh.
Go ahead and put that in for next time when we play Monster Hunter. I'm actually going to try to learn. Here, type that in. I will give you my code right here.
Alright, we're going to put our code in.
My code for Monster Hunter. So when you want to come play, you can. I will add you as friend. Yeah. Didn't miss it, so
Oh, I capitalized the G.
so much it was and then yeah. Wait, we started really that early. We're still trying to get a good schedule going, but don't worry. I will play with you all later. I'll try to get more of a schedule thing going so you know when to show up, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to try to start doing like a schedule, like maybe sketch stream around noon, because I'm going days, you'll be up during the day. If I get things set before I leave for work.
And I will try to play Monster Hunter a little bit on my own so I can be more comfortable with the controls instead of having me just sit there and complain about I don't know what fucking buttons I'm pushing.
Capital of the world. Disney alone generates $40 billion in economic impact for the state, along with generating 250,000 jobs. But considering the extreme weather that
Able to play on weekends.
I work during the Hey, lucky you. He's off on the weekends only too. So yeah, only the weekends really work for us also. Except for me actually. I can play whenever.
Yeah, you'll probably
I
play.
have no job. This is my job.
You can play. You play Backrooms while you're on.
I'm not playing a horror game on my own, you crazy mo.
Florida is known for. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me, or just in general. Is the Tower of Terror genuinely a gigantic lightning rod? Yes. Do all the different rides at Disney go down at separate times throughout the day due to bullshit weather happenings? Yes, always, every time. But you know what? F it. That is the end of my statement. Geographically, this makes zero sense. The fact that Florida's economic health hinges on rides that are subject to the whims of weather is insane. Listen, I've made 2 videos about Disney. I'm a Disney adult. I love Disney World, but it makes no sense. And I also have a weird amount of pocket knowledge.
You gotta tell me stories of Disney. What Disney place you went to? Did you go to Disney World?
Mom took me to Disney World and Epcot back when I was in high school, and then my grandparents went a lot. They went to Disney World a couple times, Disneyland out in California once. What are you doing?
I'm just looking at this gray hair on your head.
Pull it. But yeah.
You're lucky. You got to experience Disney. I got Disney's cousin, Tiny Toons, not Tiny Toons, Looney Tunes. I got Looney Tunes World.
And Astroworld, which is gone.
Astroworld and Six Flags.
Which Astroworld is gone.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Knowledge about how this started. In the 60s, Walt Disney starts.
I think it said 50, which I'm not sure on. For whatever reason, it said 50.
Yeah,
and I was reading it, but I'm not sure how right that is. Maybe that's 50 how many friends you can add, but I'm not sure if that's 50 at a time. I don't know.
Snatching up swampland in Florida. He considered the lack of control he had over the development surrounding Disneyland in California to be a mistake. So instead of putting a theme park near where people lived, he chose a shitty area full of cheap land that he could
Team or squad or lobby.
Okay.
This is what Disney World looked at before they built it. Remember when we were down there, we were near that area? How it developed?
When we were flying over it.
That's what it looked like back in the day.
I can't wait until we go to Florida again next year.
Yeah.
completely controlled and
excited for
created
that.
his new kingdom. In 1971, Disney World opens its doors, and the first day was a resounding show. People made fake
On a theme park. Couldn't handle roller coasters. Yeah. I love roller coasters. They used to really scare me, but I have a rule about roller coasters. I have to keep my eyes closed during the whole time. But it has like an ethereal feel to it, I guess. For hunt during a hunt. Okay. Yeah, okie dokie. Yeah.
passes. It was overcrowded as hell. Half the park wasn't even open. I think someone stabbed Mickey. But for some reason, it worked out. And now Orlando is the home of several world-class theme parks, all trying to get their fill. You got Universal.
Oh yeah, they have Nintendo.
Universal. That's the one you promised we'd go to, right?
Because they have Nintendo.
I want to go to the Nintendo Wild. That sounds so fun. It was like rude. Dude, okay, tell them about the Mamba.
Oh, the Mamba that goes all the way. It goes like, I think it's like almost 280 feet up in the air or something.
Yeah, that's the highest roller coaster I've ever been on. That's here at
World of Fun.
Worlds of Fun. Worlds of Fun, the Mamba.
Studios, where every theme park ride is based off of a movie that you won't give a shit about in 5 years, and you can have a cardiac arrest on the whole. You have Busch Gardens, a zoo/theme park that worked so well that fucking Michael Eisner said, it, we're doing that here. And then you have SeaWorld.
Oh.
SeaWorld. All my homies hate SeaWorld. Why do you have a fucking orca in your exhibit? You're a piece of shit. The fact that anyone visits that place is beyond me. But you know what? Who needs to go to zoo?
I loved SeaWorld.
The sea cows.
I like looking at the cute sea cows.
Universal has Nintendo, but they also have Harry Potter. You're not a Harry Potter fan.
Not a Harry Potter fan. It's not my thing. I can appreciate the movies, but I'm not a Harry Potter nut.
Is there bears in Florida?
Huh.
Bear versus an alligator. That's had to happen.
Oh, hey, otter. Cute.
Florida panther.
Oh, wow, they have panthers?
Apparently.
Did not know that. What the hell? Spotted skunk.
Spotted skunk. Something you don't want to fuck with.
Huh. Oh, they have
Zoos in
bobcats.
SeaWorld when you live in Florida, because Florida has the craziest animals out of every single U.S. state available. And the ones that aren't going to kill you are so notably fucked up in their own special way, it seems like God was just guessing when he made these things. I mean, for one, Florida has bears. And no one really
Okay.
thinks about that, but there's like a ton of bears in Florida. Doesn't that feel weird? It's like if you saw a
Really? There is?
Apparently.
I thought Virginia was the place that had all the bears.
It's on the East Coast. I mean, they probably go up the mountains. They probably went down south.
But why would they go into swamplands?
Well, Florida's not 100% swamplands.
Say there shouldn't be a or fictional jaguar and okay.
snake in Alaska, you'd be like, I guess that makes sense, but like I wasn't expecting you. But bears aren't what you came here for. I didn't write a lot about the bears because
Was that true? There's snakes in Alaska? How the hell do they live?
Well, it does get kind of... Maybe they're used to cold?
Cold snakes? Wait, so that means
Wait a minute, I
that...
gotta back that up. 'Cause it's...
Yeah.
like if you saw a snake in Alaska, you'd be like, I guess that makes sense, but like I wasn't expecting you. But bears aren't what you came here for. I didn't write a lot about the bears.
Oh,
because
he was making a joke. We're idiots. There's no snakes in Alaska.
Okay, good, because that makes absolutely... It'd have to be a warm-blooded snake, which I don't think exists.
Those bears in Florida are now city bears and no longer live in
They live in the good life.
I know what you came here for, and
Yogi
it's the
Bear,
manatees.
eat your heart
Oh my
out.
god.
Yes!
What
Yes!
is going on?
Yes! The sea cow! Sea cow, yes! Sea cow is behind me! Ah, I love the sea cows!
With the manatees. Manatees are everything that dolphins are not. Chubby, slow herbivores that are seemingly dumb. In contrast to dolphins, which are smart and skinny and little twinks. But we're not talking. Florida also has dolphins, but we're not talking about them. I love manatees. Manatees are affectionately called sea cows, but they are hard to look at a little bit. They're big like tumors that float through the ocean. But if dolphins and manatees have anything in common, it's the fact that they are horny as hell. Manatees mate in groups, and it's basically a giant ocean orgy, like a violent ocean orgy. It's really a sight to behold, and when people behold it, they end up...
It's like if Nick Calavico threw an orgy with that one.
I did not know that manatees had orgies.
It's like if Nick Calavico and his boyfriend had an orgy with that hungry fat chick.
I killed Voodoo. I killed Voodoo's hearing.
I can't.
Oh yeah, you gotta be careful with me. I have the pipes of a squeaking sonar bat.
calling the cops. That's how violent it is. And they are aggressive when they do it. They're so aggressive that they will end up f***ing anything that's in front of them. In 2023, and Chris, you're gonna have to bleep as much as you have to here, but a manatee f***ed his brother so hard that he ripped a 14.5 centimeter long tear in the ventral wall of his colon and left him for dead in the aquarium. Don't get...
How big are manatees' dongs? That's a question I never thought I would ask.
Remember the sea cow butthole we saw? They ripped him a new butthole. Your face.
Okay, moving on.
No one. Life finds a way.
Oh no, get a human manatee, baby.
near manatees when they're f***ing. But if you
That's
think
how
the
mermaids come to
psychosexual
be.
terrorism of manatees...
Yeah. That's how mermaids come to be. Because wasn't the thing that manatees were what the sailors thought mermaids were or something?
When you've been on a boat for that long, you'll fuck anything.
That's how it happened.
The sailors fucked the manatees and the manatees gave birth to the mermaids.
I know dolphins will kill you by bullying.
Damn.
is bad. Well, let me introduce you to the concept of alligators. Gators are f***ing terrifying. How do you
Yeah.
Gators are fucking terrifying.
guys wake up
Fuck
every
these
morning in
things.
Florida and you see a gator in your f***ing driveway and you're like, whatever. That's a dinosaur. What are you doing?
I was
They fill
about to
me
say
with
that.
so much fear. It is primal. It is a primal urge to run away from these things. They hiss. Have you heard a gator? Chris, put up the sound of the gator. That's what a dragon sounds like.
Yeah, it is.
On YouTube, there's an old, of a girl. She
Was water staying, and she was drinking in the water. She saying she saw a sea monster when it turned out to be a sea cow. Oh, moo 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 moo.
They can grow up to 15
Never
feet
freak
long
out
and
for
weigh
the
over
manatee.
1,000 pounds. Too big, too long. Their bites are the strongest ever recorded for any animal, with over 2,000 pounds of force per square inch. Ridiculous.
Dude, remember the crocodile hunter?
He didn't die from alligator though. He died from.
I know, I'm just saying. I remember watching on Animal Planet back in the day when he was still alive, where he would do this thing where he'd put his hand in the mouth and then stick it out really fast.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Ridiculously OP. Nerf the alligator. On average, there are about 8 unprovoked alligator bites a year in Florida, which sounds small, but that little statistic says unprovoked. And I don't know what provoking an alligator is, but if it's stepping on it accidentally or walking near it too closely, then that's bullshit, because that number's gonna go way the f up. Those things will kill you for no reason. Oh, and you know what the other killing thing with a bunch of f***ing teeth is? Sharks. You gotta worry about sharks. Florida has the highest rate of shark attacks in the world, averaging
well-
19 a year.
Well, yeah, they're next to the ocean.
I knew what.
Yeah, but he knew what he was doing. Floridian dun lolo. Meow meow meow. But yeah, the statistics for this one's dumb because are we ever gonna see a shark here in Missouri?
No. Although there was a weird meme I saw going around. It's like one shark bites reported all over the place, and it's like there was one in Missouri. And
How? They must have had a pet shark, and that's their own damn fault.
all out, all the deadly.
So could you see a shark in this? Yes.
The one above it. All the deadly animals. Steve
Out of
Irwin-
all the deadly animals Steve Irwin encountered, the stingray was the one that did him in.
the Sharknado. We get
That's the only way. That's the only way. Because we do have the tornadoes. That's the only way.
And if you get attacked by a shark, the only way to make it
was
stop is to
really
fight back. Sharks generally aren't eating you for food, they're just biting you because they're curious, so you really gotta like
Aww.
fucking put your fingers in their eyes, up their nose, and in their tails, and really fucking f them up. You have to fight for your life. I sincerely hope you never get into a shark fight, but if you're in Florida, you gotta keep your head on a swivel. God forbid you're
There would be no sharks in Missouri River, would there?
I think maybe in a river, yeah, because the Missouri River and the Mississippi River, but
I'm guessing they'd have to be freshwater sharks.
I think there are some freshwater sharks, but
So it wouldn't be like a killer white or anything.
or if someone grabbed it at the aquarium.
True. Oh yeah, we do
walking
have
around
an
at
aquarium.
Disney and a land shark comes up and nips at your bits. Oh, also, sharks are older than trees in terms of evolution. They've been around longer than trees. That
Huh.
f***s me up. That makes me more afraid of them for some
Seriously?
reason. However,
Yeah.
the most
Yeah,
That's
sharks.
true?
Sharks have been in the ocean longer than trees have been on land.
I learned something new today. That's shocking to me.
And there used to be sharks literally the size of buildings.
Oh yeah, the megalodon.
Yeah.
Right.
We swim in freshwater for a time and have been seen in rivers. Huh. Some sharks, that is. Yeah.
Dear God, what is he about to talk about?
I don't know. There's a very red man behind him.
Like methed out Trump.
Push button, push
dangerous
button.
thing about Florida is not the sharks, or the alligators, or the bears. It's the people. The people in Florida are fucking crazy. Let's start like just base level. Let's start talking about the old people. They're more dangerous than anyone else. Thousands of old
Yes.
folks descend on Florida every year, either to escape
shade.
brutal winters or to pack it up entirely and spend their final years shriveling in the sun. The bus system sucks. They don't have subways. You can't get around without a car. So most of these seniors wind up on the road, driving themselves. That's a recipe for a good time. Florida is already dangerous for
Okay,
pedestrians.
but what is the thing you like to say after a certain age?
You shouldn't be driving anymore.
Yeah.
That reminds me of something that happened when me and Mom were down in Florida. We were coming to a wide toll booth. We were going to one person was all the way on the other side, saw, oh, open booth, and just cut across. We damn near hit them.
Dumb butt.
Ranks as one of the most dangerous states if you're on foot because their fucking sidewalks double as a goddamn bus lane. In 2023 alone, there were 740 pedestrian deaths in Florida. But you know what's not going to solve the problem? Giving the keys of a Ford F-150 to an 85-year-old half-blind man. That's not going to help out at all. Look, I don't want to sound...
Stink meaner.
Stink meter.
Stink meaner.
ages.
Full of hate,
I'm sure
too.
you love your babushka and she's everything to you. But time comes for us all, and usually the eyes go first, which are a very important part of driving. Florida tried to slow down all the senior murders that were happening, and when I say senior murders, I mean the murders are happening by seniors. If you're over the age of 80, Florida requires a vision test to renew your driver's license, which sounds like a good solution until you realize the average age of death in America is 77 years old. How did you not figure out that math? Make it lower that bar. Florida has the third largest population out of any U.S. state. So if there's more people, there's more crime. That's just gonna happen. Though it often feels like Florida's criminals are going above and beyond to stand out. This is where we got the meme of Florida Man, a meme that was really big.
In Canada, there is the raising problem of elders causing vehicle accidents at least 3 times a month. Elderly drivers nearly hit me or I hit them because they either don't see me coming or care. They
If
don't
it makes you feel any worse, I know people at my job who are driving in their 70s. A big rig in their 70s.
Oh, yay! How come there's not an age requirement for that one?
There's an age requirement for a pilot. At 65, you have to retire.
Why is there not one for big rigs?
We need truck drivers, I guess?
Good people start learning how to drive.
In like 2011. The idea of Florida Man comes, at least in part, from Florida's public records law. When combined with the constitutional right within the state to access government records and the unholy power of the internet, it makes access to a wealth of daily police interactions in Florida widely available. So there are more crimes in Florida and more easily accessible records of those crimes. So anyone can pull that up and make a fun little BuzzFeed article about some crazy shit that happened in Florida. And then there are even fame-hungry sheriffs who turn the whole thing into content. Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey runs a YouTube channel where he spins a wheel that's plastered with mugshots of wanted felons, and then he runs down the charges of whichever damn soul it lands on. Also, it's important to note that the people who are featured on this YouTube channel have yet to be found guilty. So, like, this seems like a up of the judicial system. And all this with local sheriff offices fishing for likes in the name of service does a lot to help create the Florida Man mythos. News outlets know that a salacious headline article is great clickbait from anything coming out of the Sunshine State. A headline like, for instance, Florida Man tells neighbors he's gonna kill them with kindness, then tries to kill them with a machete named kindness. And some
Oh.
That was so dumb funny. He made a dad joke for murder.
Yes.
He wasn't lying.
These headlines are perfect because it tells the entire story in a sentence. Like, Florida Man bites off his brother's penis after he walks into him having sex with his cousin on his favorite Dragon Ball Z blanket.
Florida Man bites off brother's penis.
You know, since he said it was his favorite Dragon Ball Z blanket, I bet you he was more upset that the blanket got cum on it.
Does he have shaved head but has too long?
Oh, I just looked at... he wants to become Piccolo. He wants to be a Namekian. Wow.
The blanket was the problem.
Got another... Machete called it love. Oh yeah, kill you with love.
Foot long.
I bet you the girl's dinghy was probably the small member.
But sheesh. Okay, his brother...
Fucked his. The second part is having sex with his cousin.
Did he... Okay, yeah. It's not necessarily who he was having sex with. That was the issue. It was the fact that it was on his favorite Dragon Ball Z blanket. That's what it was. He got mad at him for having sex on his Dragon Ball Z blanket. That's what the issue was.
I don't need to read that article. You nailed everything I wanted to know. And I'm out of time. I didn't have time to cover the insanity of Florida politics, which is that's a whole different video. The mafia was heavily involved in Florida at some point, especially in Miami, or the fact that there's official Jimmy Buffett Day in Florida. It's August 30th, if you were wondering. I'll jump back into this if you guys want a part 2, but for now, let's just walk away. Let's just walk away unscathed from Florida. Going to Florida is just getting a hit of pure sunshine-laced insanity. You go there and you leave when the park closes. Because every minute you're in the swamp, your chances of survival drop exponentially. New videos every Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah, we had a, what was it, 2 years ago? We had a nice little vacation in Florida for a week.
4 years ago.
It was really that long? Wow. Okay, 4 years ago. And we're planning on going back next year. Yay! Cadmore bought the blanket so much that he thought to bite those people was a just punishment. Never mind the cousin part. Yep.
Alright, well that was the end of this.
Thank you for joining us.